Hey there, angry faithful. I just wanted to drop in, bend your ear a little bit, get your attention. So if you're not listening, drop what you're doing and pay attention to me because I'm here to inform you that not only can you get your daily, maybe if you're binging it, I'm not sure, that's entirely up to you, but you can multiply your doses of angry me fuckery by paying attention to all of the platforms upon which you can find either the dulcet tones of my voice and David's voice, or my pretty face and David's not so pretty face. Anyways, digressing, we not only on we are on YouTube, we are on Spotify, we're on Rumble, we're on Google, Apple Podcast. We have a TikTok page. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and of course Facebook. So if you find yourself fuckery deprived, curl up with a nice hot mug of shut the fuck up and just listen. Open those ear holes and be prepared to be cream pied like it's the first time. Thanks for listening.
There we go. Welcome, Angry Faithful. Today on Nerd Sports, we're going to talk about the competitive Finland sport of wife carrying, where they go about and carry their wives through an obstacle course of. We're not talking about that, all right? Again, all right.
Oh man, I was letting you run with it, dude. That sounded really cool as fuck, man.
I was like I said last episode, I go through it, just type in weird sports and stuff comes up.
Yeah,
and that was one of them that actually came up. So, but anyways, what's pretty much happened in sports stuff? Let me pull up my stuff. I didn't pull up my stuff.
The NASCAR race at Dover got rained out Sunday, and so they got 78 laps into the race, and they said, okay, we're going to finish the race from that point on Monday. So they ran it today, and Chase Elliott actually ended up winning the race today. It was his first win of the year. He's the reigning points champion. Or no, he's no, it's Kyle Larson. But he was the last Hendrick driver to get a win this year. So all four Hendrick Motorsports drivers are in the playoffs. So the way that NASCAR works is that if you win during the regular season, you automatically qualify for the playoffs.
Okay.
And they take the top 16 drivers either in win totals or points. And that's the cutoff line. 16 drivers are the only ones that are eligible to race for the championship. You know, the way that it works is it's a elimination round. So that there's the round of 16, round of 12, round of 8, final four. And that final four is the final race at Phoenix, where it's just those four drivers, and whoever finishes with a better finish or wins that race out of those four drivers wins the championship. So the format really puts a premium on winning, because you've had champions in the past that have gone the entire year, and all they did was points race. So they did things on the track like lead the most laps, things like that, pass the most cars, things like that. Never won a race all year, but they ended up winning the championship or coming damn close, right? But yeah, Chase Elliott finally got him a win. He my understanding, really kind of didn't necessarily dominate, because I mean it was a wreck filled race this year today. But Rick Hendricks got all four of his cars in the playoffs. He's the first team to do that this year. But I'm okay with that. I like Chase Elliott, not necessarily my favorite driver. I don't have a favorite driver per se so much anymore since Dale Jr. retired. But you know, I'm all about Team Hendrick. So I'm happy with Hendrick getting into victory lane, getting all four of his cars qualified for the playoffs. So yeah, it was pretty light over the past week. Major League Baseball news. Trevor Bauer, he pitches for the Dodgers, and he came into some trouble because he was accused of sexual misconduct and sexual assault, right? Well, the LA County District Attorney's Office dropped all the charges because they didn't have enough evidence to pursue a case, right?
Mm-hmm.
Major League Baseball decides to take it upon themselves to suspend him for 2 years, 2 full seasons. That was 254 games without pay. He's appealing the decision. Trevor Bauer, regardless of whether or not you like the guy, the guy can pitch. And he's obsessed with trying to become a better pitcher. And he breaks things down analytically, mechanically. He gets scientific with his pitching. And,
my only thing is did he actually do this, though?
He says that he didn't. Right. He said that he didn't. The LA District Attorney's Office didn't have enough evidence to pursue a case. And I think either the woman or the women that made the allegations retracted their statements.
Well, so then he probably didn't do this stuff.
Right. And it's just Major League. Well, see, the thing of it is that he's vocal against Rob Manfred, the commissioner of Major League Baseball.
Oh, yeah.
And he's vocal about the way that the game is being handled, the way that the rules committee is doing things. And Rob Manfred just doesn't like that. He's like, you either bow down to me and kiss my boot, or you're not going to play. Trevor Bauer is like, go fuck yourself. And, so there's a lot of people that are on like, well, we have to believe the victims. Well, the victims retracted their statement. The LA District Attorney's Office, the LA County District Attorney's Office didn't have, they didn't even have anything to take to a grand jury to indict a fucking ham sandwich with. So, if you can hear me crunching in your ear, I'm eating barbecue flavored pork rinds, so whatever.
Sorry.
But I don't agree with Major League Baseball taking this road, because what they're basically doing is they're convicting. They're sentencing him with a conviction, or they're convicting him without a jury of his peers.
Yeah,
they're just
due
process is more.
It's pretty much what's going around right now. It's been going around a lot heavier
with
nowadays.
These larger entities. With these larger entities, with these larger entities like the NBA, the NFL, the MLB, NHL, freaking water hockey, freaking the wife carrying federation, this sets a very dangerous precedence. Like with the NFL, and even in the past with Major League Baseball, if there's been no conviction, then and charges get dropped, then there's no criminal case, right? He didn't violate player conduct codes because there was no trial, there was no evidence presented, right? Major League Baseball is just going, well, we're pretty sure he did it. Well, guess what? Pretty sure doesn't work in a fucking court of law. He's appealing the decision. And I would be very, very surprised if it gets overturned. And I would suspect that Trevor Bauer would probably take this to court. And
well, he could if it comes around to it, he could sue him for defamation or no, it would be just defamation.
Defamation
of character, yeah.
And I think that's the point. I think that Major League Baseball just decided to take it upon themselves to be judge, jury, and executioner in this case.
Yeah.
But without any evidence being presented. It's not like the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office is going to hand over their file over to the Major League Baseball head offices in New York going, oh, well, we couldn't do anything with it. Let's see what you can do. No, there's not even so much as a civil suit being filed against him.
That's stupid ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is just the fact that Major League Baseball has a target, or has a target, or their crosshairs rather, centered on Trevor Bauer because they don't like the way that he speaks his mind.
Yeah. And
You know?
that's a big point nowadays. I mean, I hate to tell people it's going to get a lot worse because a lot of if you're in the public eye like that, and if you want to voice your opinion and everything, you need to get like a PR team. I mean, Amber Heard just fired her entire PR team because it didn't work out for her.
Well,
but she was a cunt, so
she needed to get rid of her legal team, for God's sake. I mean,
yeah, I still like those TikTok videos. I guess it would be like a video meme of the whole thing where you have Johnny Depp's legal team. Yes, this is how things are going to go. What was this? What was that? And then you have Amber Heard's legal team. I got a cookie
in the bed, and it was just the fecal delivery.
and Amber Heard's legal team is like, I got a cookie.
Yeah. Objection, hearsay. There was actual fecal matter in the bed. What's there? And like there's that video going around. Amber Heard's lawyer is just objecting to everything, and Depp's lawyer goes, "Well, I'll ask a different question." He leans into the microphone. He goes, "Says so they can object to that one too." And I'm just like, what the fuck, but
that was one thing, and sorry for everybody getting away from the nerd sports stuff, but because we actually have a lot to cover today, but the funny thing is I seen there's memes going out as what if Elon Musk was in an abusive relationship because they started showing pictures of him with Amber Heard because Amber Heard dated Elon Musk for a while and he had like a big bruise on his face, and I was like, maybe Elon Musk was into domestic violence or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, I mean, it's to the point where Elon's reaching out to Johnny Depp going, dude, I didn't know.
But anyways, we also have the NFL draft.
I saw a fun fact today about that.
That UT didn't get any freaking
256 players were drafted in this year's NFL draft. 0 from the University of Texas.
Yeah, I know. I was like, because they did that one meme. It was
Matthew McConaughey standing on the sideline, kind of looking up, going, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, it was. But it was. Let me go into because I had the draft stuff picked up.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, it was a lot of defensive backs, a lot of defensive players this year. There was a lot. I mean, there was a few wide receivers. Pittsburgh drafted a new quarterback to replace Ben Roethlisberger from Pitt University. So it's not like the kid's going to have to commute very far to go to work. So
no.
But there wasn't a lot of standout names. I mean, of course, I didn't really watch a ton of college football this year.
Well, the main
one notable, and I'm going to go on a little bit of a soapbox here. I'm not so much of a rant, but just kind of voice my opinion. I think his name is Daniel Fagot, linebacker from Navy. He got drafted this year for the NFL.
How does that work out?
President Trump signed some kind of executive order stating that athletes from service academies could opt out and go to the draft if they wanted to. And I don't know what that would do to their service commitment. I mean, personally, I say fucking make them serve. Yeah. Navy had a guy get drafted last year Dude got cut first week during the preseason. He turned right around, went back to Annapolis, couldn't finish, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he had to serve. He still had to service, fulfill a service commitment.
Was it 6 years?
Yeah, it's either that or make him pay back the entire tuition.
Yeah.
But not to say that Daniel Fago is, I'm probably butchering his name, but I don't really care. But the guy's probably a tank. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's freaking savage. But during the Army-Navy game, there were so many calls that were missed by the officiating crew from him face masking, holding, unnecessary roughness. He damn near ripped the quarterback's fucking helmet off the last play of the game, right? And it should have extended the series, right?
Yeah.
At the very least, put Army within like field goal range, right? But yeah, you can call it being butthurt. You can call it sour apples, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. He's going to learn real quick that they play a different kind of game in the NFL. They're faster, they're meaner, they're stronger, and they hit a whole hell of a lot harder than he thinks he can.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say that I want to watch this kid spectacularly fail, because that would be wrong. I do want to see him get his bell rung. I really do. I mean, I want to see some tight end or some running back running downhill, truck him, and just absolutely run him the fuck over. I really do. And will he get better if he's able to show enough to stay in the NFL? Yeah. I mean, the guy carried like a 3.99 or a 4.08 not ERA, fucking GPA at the academy. Dude's a certifiable genius, right?
Yeah.
But one, you're either going to have to pay back all that tuition if it were up to me, or two,
I think they should have to pay back the tuition.
I think you should have to pay back the tuition. If you get, let me say this. The way I think it should be, and it doesn't matter if it's Army, Navy, or Air Force. I don't care. If you go to a service academy and you opt out to go play professional sports, you should have to pay back your tuition. If you make the team, you get signed to a contract, the whole 9 yards, right? But if you get cut, or you're no longer playing professional sports because you didn't make the grade, so to speak, you should have to sign an agreement with your service academy that you will be willing to go back 1 year, or lose a year, right? You're no longer eligible to play sports for the academy, but you're there, right? You lose it. You lose a year. So if you got drafted as a junior, you have to go back to being a sophomore, or at least repeat your junior year, right?
I think if you're repeat the junior year, but
okay, so that's more reasonable. Repeat the year that you left on, okay, and your service commitment goes from 6 to 8 years. No. Because when you go to these service academies, you're not going. I mean, yeah, you're going to play sports, but you're going to serve. I mean, that would be like you and me getting an opportunity to, like, say, let me just like, okay, like say I'm in the Army and I get recruited to go play baseball for the All Army team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Major League Scouts see me, they want to draft me, but I've got 2 years left on my enlistment, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get drafted, and if let's say I get drafted, the Army says, okay, we'll let you out of your contract. Well, there's still 2 years still sitting there, right? Still 2 years. If I don't make it, I should have to go back and finish my enlistment. And I don't get credit for any of that time. I still have to make that up.
So
Right?
do they get do they get time served? It just sounded like a prison thing.
Right. Well, it
Do they
depends on what your MOS would be.
Yeah. Do they consider this time served when you're actually doing your academy stuff?
No.
Because I thought it was like after your academy, that's when your 6 years start.
Your actual time in service starts after you graduate.
Okay.
Because the service academies, while yes, you still draw, I think you draw a paycheck from the military. I think you get an LES. I could be wrong.
Hold on.
One of our listeners,
I'm curious.
if one of our listeners has attended a service academy, please let us know. But I know that your time in service does not start until after you graduate. Because basically it's more or less ROTC. That's why whenever you get those cadets come in from, like, say, the Air Force Academy, you were in the Air Force. So let's say you get some Air Force Academy student comes through, and for whatever reason he wanted to be a cook in the Air Force, right? Or be somebody who ran a mess hall.
Okay.
You don't have to salute those assholes. You don't. You just fucking don't. I mean, yeah, they get to go to all the schools that we want to go to. Ranger School, Airborne School, Air Assault School, shit like that. But they don't hold a rank. What?
Okay. This is the Navy Academy now. Their midshipment pay is $1,185, which laundry, barber, cobbler, activity fees, yearbook, and other service charges are deducted. The actual cash paid is $75 per month during plebe summer and $125 per month for the rest of your first year, from which each year thereafter.
So 75 your plebe summer, 125 your freshman year, and then your pay goes up from sophomore, junior, senior?
It didn't. It just said thereafter.
Or it just says, okay, all right, well, fine. But they
which
still
increases each year thereafter. So I guess they get some amount of money. They don't get
they get some. So I mean, but they're basically, their clothing is paid for.
Yeah, right? They get dental, they get medical, they get clothes.
They get all the same shit that we get.
Yeah.
Their room and board is paid for, the whole 9 yards. I mean, they get to go to that school basically for free. That's my understanding. Because those are military installations.
Technically, they're
it's still considered college.
Okay. Here's my thinking for what I've read. From what I'm reading, they get accepted to the academy. They're paid to be there. Technically, they're paid to be there, and they deduct everything. They get a small fee. They get like a small amount of money per month.
Yeah.
But everything else is paid for. I mean, they get free medical, free dental.
Free dental. If you're playing a sport, then you get access to all the good stuff. I mean, all the good stuff. I mean, look at the equipment that the football team has. You know, with all of these sideline gear that they get. I mean, it's just, dude, it's insane. And I'm just like, okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down. So, but your time in service does not start. The timer on your service commitment doesn't start until you graduate.
Yeah.
So, that's when everybody's officially commissioned. You get your branch assignment, things like that. So, you find out if you're going to be a pogue, you're going to be a gun bunny, you're going to be a fucking MP, or you're going to be, grunt, or in your case, it's going to be like pilot, freaking, or whatever else, right?
No, you can still get like a pilot stuff when you.
Well, I'm just saying there are people that go to the Air Force Academy specifically to become fighter pilots.
Yeah,
but from a recruiting standpoint, I understand. Okay, it's like, all right, look, you get to come play military for however many years, and if you're good enough on our football team and you help us win games, especially the important ones, i.e., the inter-service, games, and if you're good enough in the NFL or the NBA or fucking MLB thinks that you're good enough and they draft you, we'll let you go under the stipulation. I think that there should be a under the stipulation that A, B, and C.
Yeah.
And I just think that this kid's going to get trucked. He's going to come out and he's going to try to make a statement on somebody, and he's going to pick the wrong player to do it or do it to.
You never know. It's one of those things is you got to wait until
it's one of those days where
you're still waiting to see that shit.
Right. It's one of those days where you really wish that Marshawn Lynch still played football.
Yeah.
Because, he'd be like, oh, okay. All right, let me drop a shoulder pad on you, see how you feel. It's like when Maurice
or the
Claret,
refrigerator.
Right. Well, he was mostly a defensive lineman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl, but that was like a trick play, kind of like with the Buccaneers when they won their first title. They had Warren Sapp on the offensive line, and he pulled around. They handed off the ball to him, and he went up the gap and scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
But like Maurice Claret, he used to be a running back for Ohio State. He wanted to come out early and declare for the NFL draft. Well, he sued the NFL, won his case, said, all right, I'm a sophomore, because normally you can't declare until you're at least a junior, right? And it's because of age issues and just stuff like that. Well, he gets drafted. During the preseason, Ray Lewis, back when he was still playing as a linebacker for the Ravens, decided to take it upon himself to introduce him to the NFL for the rest of the NFL. He he came and laid the wood on this kid, like cleaned him out. Depleted him and buried him. Like, he hit him so hard, his ancestors from 4 generations back felt that shit. Right? He was never the same after that. And it was a statement hit. And everybody, almost to a T, looked at Ray Lewis and was like, yeah, thank you, sir. Don't be bringing that young kid shit in here. This is a man's game. In fact, I think that's what he told him when he pried his shoulder pads out of the poor kid's sternum, was like, this is the man's game. Got him walk back to his huddle. I'm like, damn, Ray Lewis is big ball shit right there. And I'm like, damn, okay. But no, I don't have a problem with kids coming out of the service academies to play professional, but there needs to be 2 stipulations, and it's bullet point A and bullet point B. And I think that needs to be the case. And it may be the case. I don't know. I haven't done enough research on it, but to me, it just, for a kid to get awarded for his dirty play, it was literally the national spotlight was on this game. It was the only college football game being played. It was the last regular season college football game being played. And it's always been the tradition. It may not be the best football, being played out there, but you know what? Who cares? Every set of eyes is on this, and they looked at some of the hits that this guy was making, and they were like, "This guy's going to destroy careers." I mean, they may not necessarily been thinking that in those words, but there's still a situation where you're kind of looking at it going, "Oh man, God." I mean, he was making some good hits. He was making some good, legitimate plays. I wanted to see him blow out his ACL because he was playing for the Navy team instead of the Army. But that's neither here nor there. That was just me being a grunt. But
Yeah.
And to be fair, because I know somebody's going to be like, it's going to be like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Somebody that's going to know 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 somebody that knows him listens to our show, right? And they're going to be like, this motherfucker said he wanted you to blow out your ACL. Like, no, listen, calm your tits, or in naval terms, full stop. you know, it's like belay that order. Like, holy shit. I didn't actually want to see him blow out his ACL. So why don't you give your balls a tug there, tit fucker? Because I'm telling you, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I blew out my MCL in the Army, and I'm like, nah, that shit fucking hurts, man. I couldn't even imagine what an ACL feels like. Are you kidding me? No, absolutely not. But, um, anyways, not a lot happening with the exception of that Trevor Bauer news coming out of the Major League Baseball. NBA, the playoffs are still going.
Yeah.
And my Dallas Mavericks are still in it. So I'm pretty happy about that. They made it to round 2. They beat the Jazz the other day. And let me see here. Game 1 is tonight at 9:00 Central Time, 10 Eastern. It's the Dallas Mavericks versus the Phoenix Suns. Oh, come on, seriously. All right, come on. Here we
Looks like San Francisco and
no, it's Philadelphia and Miami tonight.
Golden State by Minneapolis, yeah.
Yeah.
And
no, it's let me see here. I've got Golden State versus Memphis. I've got Milwaukee versus Boston. Milwaukee leads that series 1-0. Golden State leads their series 1-0 over the Grizzlies.
the Celtics and the Bucks.
Yeah, the Celtics. Yeah, that's Boston and Milwaukee. But let me see here. Neither one of the teams are first round series injuries, so it's going to make a pretty good guard heavy type showdown. I mean, we're looking at Devin Booker, Luka Doncic. They each missed 3 games of their respective first round series, but they're both healthy, right? So they were able to come off the injured, come off the bench. Let's see here. 6 consecutive first round playoff series losses. Dallas advances past the opening round for the first time since capturing the title back in 2011. The defending Western Conference champion Suns. So the Suns are pretty favored in this series, I think. They knocked down their highest shooting percentage in a playoff game since 2006 last Thursday, when they beat New Orleans 115-109 in Game 6 of their series. They shot for 60% from the floor. They made 60% of all the shots that they took. I mean, Doncic, he suffered a left calf strain in the regular season finale, and it sidelined him for most of the playoffs in the first round. He returned for the first final 3 games of that, or for the final 3 games of that series. He finished Game 6 with a franchise leading 12th career 25-5. So that's 20 points, 5 blocks, and 5 rebounds, right? When they beat the Jazz 98-96 in that game.
Okay.
Booker he had kind of the same route on the Phoenix side during their playoff series against New Orleans. He sat out games 3 through 5 before returning to contribute 13 points in their game 6 win. So both players entered game 1 of the conference semifinals healthy. And I mean, with Doncic out of action, Jalen Brunson averaged 32 points and shot 50.7% from the field in the first 3 games of the first round. DeAndre Anton, Anton, stepped up in Booker's absence, and he shot a combined 51 points in games 3 and 4 before Mikal Bridges racked up a team-high 31 points in Phoenix's game 5. So they were kind of platooning it out a little bit on the Phoenix side of the ball. But Chris Paul, he's going to be the one to watch. So, I mean, we're looking. So 3 things to watch here. 1, clutch performances. So we're going to be looking for Phoenix is 2-1 in clutch time in playoffs, good for 3rd among postseason participants, while the Mavericks ranked just below with a record of 3-2. The Suns finished their regular season with the league's best 33-9 in clutch games, while Dallas won 57.9 of its outings under those circumstances. Both teams can thank steady play at the point guard for Doncic and Paul for their successes in games that come down to the wire. Doncic and Booker are prolific scorers. They both teams have defensive stoppers capable of slowing down these superstars. Bridges most likely gets that assignment for Phoenix against Doncic when needed, but the Suns forward won't be guarding Luka very much, like as far as exclusively is concerned. After struggling to 18 of 17 shooting for 21 points. Let me see here. You're going to expect this season Phoenix is going to come out. They're going to employ multiple strategies to neutralize Doncic. But the Mavericks forward Dorian Finney-Smith takes on a new role of stopper against Booker, who led the Suns in scoring in each of their regular season wins over Dallas. And all defensive team candidate Finney-Smith can effectively create every guard position, or he can effectively guard every position on the floor rather. His defense on Jazz star Donovan Mitchell proved significant in the opening round. Mitchell he shot only 37.7% from the floor over the last 3 games of that first round. So he had a pretty miserable time of it. We're going to be looking for our big guys. Doncic is going to be the big guy for Dallas. Booker's going to be doing that along with Chris Paul on the Phoenix side. Dallas has only got really 2 true centers in on its roster. Dwight Powell, he suffered a ruptured Achilles tendon in 2020. And Boban, I'm going to try to pronounce this, Marjanovic. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. Neither of them is athletic enough to consistently defend Ayton, who has a Hall of Fame point guard in Chris Paul to deliver the ball inside. Suns also appear to have more depth at the position with JaVale McGee and Bismarck Boyumbo. The Mavs did employ a small ball lineup in the second half of Game 6 on Thursday with Finley at center, and that played crucial in the team's comeback win over Utah. But they're saying that there's they're picking the Suns in 7. Anytime you pick a team to win a game or win a series in 7 games, that tells me that you're just picking somebody because they've got the numbers, but that doesn't translate to playoff ball, and you really can't reconcile all that logic all in one fell swoop. So I don't know. It just kind of looks like they're just saying, all right, we're just going to say 7 games because they really don't fucking know. I mean, they really don't. They really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've always had a problem with that type of, because announcers.
It's not a hot take. It's not a hot take at all.
All announcers, like I said, Ted Laszlo TV show. There's a scene with Roy Kent as an announcer and everything like that, predicting the game, everything. He literally said, "He's like, you're just speculating what's going to happen, but you have no real thing to
Yeah,
be on
you've
that
got
field. It's the
no
players.
idea, zero clue. Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
the players could be like top notch, and they slip on a freaking little bit of water on the court.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like that. What was it? Hot Tub Time Machine. Squirrel comes by and messes with the kick, and it gets thrown out.
Yeah, exactly.
And you end up having to suck a guy's dick to pay off all your debts.
All right, so I know we need to wrap this up. So I'm going to give my kid a call so he can do his joke of the week. But yeah, I'm picking I'll say the Mavs in 5.
Okay. Yeah, Maria loved that joke, but she, instead of deers, she didn't understand it until I explained it to her. She thought it was like deers, but it was.
Hey, bud, hold on. Give me just a second. I'm going to do your intro music here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the listening environment out there, our angry faithful, it is now time for your weekly installment of Joke Time with Colin. All right, go for it, bud.
What do a penis and a Rubik's Cube have in common? The more you play with it, the harder it gets.
Congratulations, Colin. You have officially brought the sigh back to the sports show, bro.
Sigh back to the shows.
Oh, my God. Last week's joke was better, but this one, he's not wrong. He's out of line, but he's not wrong.
I know, right?
All right. Hey, bud, just real quick, there was an issue with going to see Doctor Strange on Friday. You heard? Okay. We'll just wait to go see it. We'll just wait to go see it until the next weekend. Is that cool? Yeah. All right, bud. Well, I'm fixing to wrap this. Yeah, I know. But we're fixing to wrap the show up. So I'm going to let you go because I got to go hop in the shower. I got a post meeting I got to get to tonight. So, all right. Well, I love you, bud. Later.
What happened with Doctor Strange?
I was going to take the boys on opening night Friday to go see Multiverse of Madness, but his little league decided to reschedule one of his rainout games to Friday night.
Oh.
Yeah, it's his mom's weekend this weekend because it's Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And I'm really not trying to trample on that.
Why don't you just take them on Thursday?
Because I don't know. You know what? That's a good idea. Let me talk to his mother about that.
I would before you do that though.
Would make sure
that you have seats.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Story time. Okay.
Anyways, everybody.
Yeah. Rubik's Cube. Okay. All right, everybody. Again, that is my genetic code on display for your ear holes and your eyes too. Well, he is not here. So that's my genetic code on display for your ear holes. So I hope that it made you soppy wet. If not, then good, because he's 13. Back off. We're not trying to make NAMBLA normal. Anyways, I digress. That got really dark really quick.
Yeah.
Anywho, trying to think what we got coming up.
We're on the 55th episode.
Yeah, we're on 55. Double nickels. Ching ching. Right, do I have a sound for that? I don't.
Oh no.
Okay. Anyways,
but we also I'm gonna do a open mic tonight.
Oh, maybe, yeah, you are going to do open mic tonight.
I wish we could have done it. I wish I realized it sooner. But we're going to be an open mic. I'm going to try to start doing more open mics and see if I can get comedy stuff up and going. I'm gonna try to record it and put it on TikTok, but
Yeah,
pans
we'll see.
out, pans out.
Yeah, pans out. I mean,
I'm just glad I got my job back. So let me
yeah,
start doing
and
more
I'm happy
stuff.
about that. I've got a couple different fire irons in the fire down there. We're still pushing for June 29th as being the wedding date. So
Yeah.
you, of course, will be there.
Yes, I will be there.
Not in an official capacity.
No.
No.
Well, technically, if I'm going to do photos.
No, we're going to hire a photographer.
Okay.
But
I was actually going to suggest
I just
that.
want you there in as much of a stress-free role as possible.
I don't know how that's going to happen.
Well,
hopefully the
give your balls a
photographer.
tug there, tip fucker.
Well, no, hopefully the photographer actually knows what they're doing.
Well, yeah, because he came highly recommended. So
okay,
there's that. Mindy's coming up here on the 13th, 14th, and 15th. We're going to get a marriage license on the 13th, and then we're going to go watch the Red Sox play the night of the 14th. Coincidentally, it is the day before which was supposed to have been my, I don't know, let me do the math here real quick. When you don't have to keep track of something anymore, then it becomes incredibly hard to keep up with.
Yeah.
Hold on, that's not right.
Oh, the fix of the problem that we had yesterday.
Yeah, what should have been my 18th anniversary. I'm going to go see a Red Sox game with my fiance the night before. So,
okay.
Yeah. So, score one for my. No, I don't want to say score one for my team because that's just. You know what? No, let me retract all of that. On what should have been my 18-month or 18-year anniversary. I'm going to a ball game with my fiance.
There you go.
With whom I am very, very lucky to have. And no, that is not me trying to save face. So for all of you cacklers and naysayers and backbiters and backbenchers out there, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to look at your keyboard and I want you to type out a very well thought response to what you think should have been a gotcha moment for me. But I want you to up the difficulty level a bit. I want you to type it out with your forehead.
I could probably do that. It would just tape a pen on my forehead.
It would look
unicorn that shit.
Yeah, it would have. Yeah, no. Okay. Anyways, I'm Johnny Skelton.
I'm David Dickerman.
Thank you for listening to episode 55 of Nerd Sports. It has been an amazing ride so far. It can only get better from here. Eventually, I'm going to get you down there on a boat, out on the open water, and we're going to film an epic episode that we're going to have to edit together.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to include footage of the fact that you don't have any sea legs. And I don't, for that matter, either. So we're there's
you don't have sea legs? I have sea legs.
Do you have sea legs? Do you really?
Well, not like open ocean sea legs.
Yeah, see, open ocean sea legs. I'm not talking about taking a boat out on a lake. I'm talking about taking a boat out into the Gulf.
I'm trying to think if I've ever done
Doing some deep sea fishing, boy.
I never did anything. But if
anyway,
anything,
there's going to be some drinking involved. There's going to be a lot of sunshine and then hopefully some really big fish that's going to kick our ass.
Yeah. All right. End of the episode. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and good night.
Good night.
Victory!